What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday. Tay.
He started recording in the middle of my beatboxing.
Yeah, because I don't know what the heck you're doing. Like,
I was beatboxing. And then I stopped.
What is going on, everyone? Another great and wonderful Tuesday. Man, we have some things to get into. A lot of different things. We're going to start off with some of the obvious in the beginning of this podcast. But before we get into this, if you are a returning listener, yo, what's going on? Welcome back. If you're a new listener, hey, how you doing? Shake my hand. I'll shake your hand.
Oh,
don't worry,
no,
I don't have corona.
We don't do that now. No, we don't do that during corona.
It's fine. I don't have corona. It's fine.
But we don't do that right now.
Oh, my bad.
Man, I can't stand you. Also, disclaimer, we are recording this the Friday before this goes live, so that's what we're going to talk about, is the knowledge that we have right now, because things may change by the time this goes live, as it usually does.
Sure. So if the stimulus package ends up getting passed and we all get a little over $1,000 again, yippee, all that stuff, we won't know that if it happens Monday. But yeah, outside of that, we're going to talk about what we do know. And I don't even think I did the intro.
You didn't. I was waiting for you to do it when you were doing your, hey, what's up? Like all that, but then you just didn't.
You cut me off, that's why.
Nah, you stopped talking.
Once again, guys, I'm the greatest.
What? Who's that who?
Oh, I thought that was my intro.
Since when?
I thought we were doing something different.
All right, so I'm with the mediocre.
It's a dog here?
Wow. She's just looking. She's looking from the other room. She's like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Page of the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife.
Yeah, lovely. Don't forget it. Lauren.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Let's get
into this. I don't even know what you want to call it. This debacle.
Okay, we're starting with some political stuff, so if you don't want to hear it, fast forward.
Or just chill. Just don't fast forward. Like, damn.
I mean, I feel like some people... It's been a lot lately. It's been a lot recently, and yeah. So we're starting with that disclaimer, but then we are going into several bits of celebrity news, so stay tuned.
Okay. So, I want to talk about Trump and Joe Biden and the debate that happened Tuesday night. Now, this...
I'm still exhausted.
...was not a debate at all. There was no respect given to at least one of the candidates.
I mean, overall, yes, but I think just overall it was a whole mess.
I don't really believe that, but that's just my take on it. What can you do when you're dealing with the bully?
Well, yeah.
But, yeah. So, Joe Biden and Trump, they had their debate, and everyone kind of figured Trump would be aggressive, but he was just, like, overly, just always, like, over talking him. And I learned from, if you guys are familiar, Philip DeFranco, that it's called Gish Gallop.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either.
When someone, like, is like, it's trying to say anything and everything to you to, like, overwhelm you, whether it's lies or whatever the case is.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an actual strategy.
And at first, I'm sure
it was just him being him.
I feel like what happened, Trump's plan and his like everything the Republicans said about Joe Biden, it failed on them because they set Joe Biden up to be like, this guy is Sleepy Joe. This guy, like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's old, all that stuff. When him and Trump are pretty much the same age, doesn't make sense to me. But
right,
they already set the bar low for him. So I went in like, man, if Joe can just freaking hang on in there and hopefully it works out.
Right.
So, to my eyes, I get everyone's like, man, it sucked and everything, but Joe Biden was at least trying to respond to the questions where Trump was just not.
Right.
Yeah. And what bothered me, and what everyone is talking about, is that one thing when Chris Wallace was like, would you condemn white supremacy? Just
yeah, that's
simple,
like the main part people are referencing.
Yes or no? Because it shows where you stand. Like, dog, everyone's constantly calling you a racist, And here you are, a chance to say you're not a racist. And I get it. Trump has said this in other, like, like White House interviews and stuff like that, I don't believe the man. Like, you could say one thing and do another. Like, I do it on this major stand where everyone is watching you. Yeah.
I just find it interesting that he claims he was like, oh, I don't know, Proud Boys. I just said that just to say, like, he made it seem like he didn't know intentionally what he was saying. And I'm like, okay. So I will admit, before this, I didn't know that was a thing. I had never heard of the Proud Boys. So
I'm sure a lot of people haven't.
Right. So for me, it kind of went over my head. And then when everyone was talking about it, I'm like, oh, okay. So you had to know about them, because I had never heard about them in my life. And so therefore that would never be a phrase I would say, because you genuinely don't know. So
yeah.
Like, who are you trying to convince?
Yeah, and in the transcript, they said that Joe Biden said Proud Boys when he was like, who do you want me to say it, when Trump was asking. But when I replay the video, because there's so much talking, I couldn't catch Joe Biden saying that. So I don't know if he actually said it or not. Or if Trump just like called out some random name that he knew was a crazy group.
But it's like everybody has been proving how easy it is to say, I denounce white supremacy.
Yo, and that's I love how the Fox News people are getting on him, Mitch McConnell, the Republicans, like everyone's like, he should have said it.
Every side, yeah.
And I get it. If you're a Trump supporter, cool, whatever. You're not going to switch, whatever.
Even the Trump supporters were ashamed of his performance. There's several I've heard of
that they want him to beat up on Joe Biden. I'm not talking about that part. Like, I'm talking about this like specific like race thing here.
Okay. I mean, a lot of them were saying, they try to cover their tracks and be like, oh, yeah, that was wrong. But I don't know.
Yeah, but they still support him. Point is, I'm really getting to the point where I'm not a person that will just straight up cancel my friends because you rock with Trump. That's whatever.
Right.
But when you have a simple question like that, it makes me think that our values really don't align, and that you see it's cool for the president to support racism when that's not how America works. Like, it's really making me draw a line, and I feel like I'm gonna be not messing with people if this is how we go into 2021 if Trump is elected. Like, I can see me not hanging out with certain friends.
Overall, it was exhausting to watch. And I know that everybody feels that way. But when you have had experience, like personal experience with a narcissist in your life, it felt literally like PTSD, like watching it. So it just felt, I think, a little worse than the average person, because you see this guy and you know that something's not right. You know that he's just a terrible person for, like bringing up Biden's sons, and one who has addiction issues and one who's passed and all this different stuff. And you just know this person is evil, pretty much is the word. But he is like the narcissist. Like he encapsulates it. So, yeah, it's just when you can see it from that view, it's just, expected, I guess. Like, you expect these kind of things from somebody like that, but it still makes it hard to watch, obviously. And I don't know, I guess there was part of me that didn't think he'd go as hard as he did. I didn't think he would interrupt literally the entire time. Like, I mean, it was what? I mean, and also I did not think he would have issues with the moderator as much as he did. Like, you saw he was actually like, he was coming for him too. And like, no, this is not on the moderator. They're just here to make sure you're not doing that.
Yeah, and Chris Wallace was like, he didn't plan on like, just doing his job. He didn't plan on interrupting or being like all that stuff. Like, it was just, he thought it would be as simple and smooth as it can be. And yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. He's like, because he's a professional. I guess he's been doing this for a long time. I'm not sure. He's old, so you see that he's been
nice.
He's been doing this. He's done a lot of presidents in his time. But yeah, this was a first for him, and I'm like, that says something.
I literally, so I gotta go find it on my Twitter.
You said how Trump would be like behind him or whatever, or no? You said it for the ones with the mic.
The ones, okay. So the ones going forward, which we obviously don't know when or how those are going to happen now, but what?
If they will.
Well, right. If there are future debates with the two of them. I've heard, they are thinking about the whole, like, turning the mic off after, like, it's your turn and, like, stuff like that. First of all, I don't even know, because the campaigns have to agree to all those rules. I don't know if Trump's would, honestly.
Like they're not for it,
but if they do get that far, I'm waiting for the mic to be off and Trump to do like what he did with Hillary Clinton when he like went behind her and was like mocking her, like literally in her space. And I feel like he would just go and do that because he's that way. He's already done it.
I think he would just do it because he did it to Hillary because she's a woman. I don't think he would do that to Joe. I don't think he would do it.
Well, no, if he's not being heard and he's that convinced he has to interrupt in that moment, I don't
think you understand. Like, he would do that. Like, for those that understand, we understand Trump's a narcissist. But in my opinion, narcissists know what they can and can't do with certain people and know how to push their buttons and all that stuff. I really don't think that he would do that to Joe Biden.
I don't know.
Knowing how Trump is.
I don't know.
I would think he would continue to do the yelling and stuff like that, and, you'd hear it through Joe Biden's mic. But I do not think he would get in his personal space as he would, because he wouldn't feel as comfortable as he did with Hillary being that it's a woman. Yeah, but I don't know.
See, that's the thing is yes, there's patterns, but they could also kind of switch up every now and then.
I don't think so. I'll put $50 on that.
I don't know, but then I had put on my Twitter after this debate happened, I said, how the hell can anyone support Trump after this debate? He's the most rude, disrespectful, unprofessional, childish president there ever was and made this debate an absolute shit show. You know it's bad when you fluster the moderator that much. And I'm like, for real though, in the history of debates and presidents, there's never been anything like this. Mm-hmm. We know he's unprofessional. We know he can't speak well. We know, he comes for everybody, calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas and like all this different stuff. But I mean, I just can't. I just can't. So like then people are coming for Biden and saying, oh, well, he did this and he did that. So people then came for Biden and said, well, he called him a clown and he said, will you shut up and all this different. I'm sorry. He, I think, said 3 times he broke. I think he said the clown twice and shut up once. And I think that was it. In an hour and a half, I challenge everybody to actually be in a room for an hour and a half with a narcissist constantly berating you, going at you, getting all of your insecurities and using them against you and just tearing you down and interrupting any kind of logical, intellectual thought. I challenge you to not break once in some way. And it won't necessarily be clown or whatever, but I'm telling you from experience, this is not an easy thing to be around. Mm-hmm. It will manipulate you. It will tear you down because that's what they know how to do, because they know your weaknesses and your insecurities and they use them against you. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he broke only 3 times, I think is pretty good. Also, he didn't like stay on it, which was a good thing. He just like said something and moved on. He also, he could have said much worse. He also did not come for him nearly as hard as a lot of parents would have at the comments he was saying about his sons. I mean, that took real restraint because you could tell he was really upset about that, because that's a dig that has no place in a presidential debate. Where does that have any place here? So anyways, so yeah, people are coming for him. Oh, he reacted. Please, like you wouldn't react to somebody being that obnoxious. Everyone hates being interrupted. Now take it to the next level and you're getting insulted constantly. So That's my thoughts there. You seem exhausted as well.
It's not. I'm feeling the same way I felt after the debate, because I can care less about Trump. I don't care whether he wins or loses. It doesn't impact me. Like, it is what it is, as far as like Trump. But my worry is just the people that support Trump, because those are the people that are going to impact me. Those are the people you're going to bump into.
So it's a result of him, though. So for you saying if he doesn't win again, that doesn't impact you, I mean, it does.
It would impact me either way. Let's be real.
Right, you said it doesn't impact you.
I mean, okay. I don't know what.
I was shocked.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, tomato.
Okay, he means does, I guess. I don't know.
I don't mean does, but I mean what I mean.
We're confused.
You're confused.
No, I'm saying that the listeners are probably confused. Also confused.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like so irritated. Like, even talking about this, I'm like, and I'm waiting, because so me and like some of the guys I hang out with, like, we normally talk on Xbox and stuff like that, and we don't really hang around political things, but I know a few of them are Trump supporters, and it's just like, it bugs me, because I'm like, I strongly feel that the only reason you support Trump is, one, because he is a bully and you agree with that. Similar reasons as to why people liked Eminem in his earlier stages of his career. Because Eminem would be the one to call out people, all that stuff. So that's the role that Trump takes, and a lot of Americans follow that. Follow me?
I do. I just disagree with it.
And being a black person and all my life being around white people and different races, but mainly white people, a lot of the white guys I've been around have liked to take on that persona of, I'm the asshole. Like the Eminem-ish vibe of being the jerk or whatever, as if it's the cool thing to do. So here you go, having a president that essentially embodies what these guys and these kids imagine. Like, oh my God, I love Trump because he just says what he wants. But the guy's an idiot. And it's only because he's relatable for that simple fact.
Just saying what you want is not always acceptable, though. I mean, a perfect example is we all have to have some level of professionalism at our job. Like, no matter what we do for a living. So why should it be any different for a president? That's pathetic. Like, there should be a higher standard there.
It doesn't matter. They don't care. And it goes back to a lot of things that I have issues with Trump, where it's like his whole thing was like draining the swamp. And in my head, I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, yeah, I get it. There's corrupt politicians, obviously. But in my mind, I'm like, Trump has not been like the greatest guy in his own like field and career. So how is he gonna drain the swamp? He doesn't even know anything about politics. So he goes into office, brings in his own friends, and a lot of these guys have been arrested and charged with whatever. Like, he's just adding to the swamp. Like, I don't understand it. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just after watching that, I was completely exhausted and just on edge. And I don't know.
Now, Trump isn't liked for a lot of things, obviously. So this COVID news took everyone for a shock. And guess what is one of the most liked things of Trump as of today, since we're recording?
What?
The tweet about him getting coronavirus.
That's funny. It's kind of funny. Well, someone said, they were like, oh, wow, Trump tweeted something positive for once.
He finally tested positive. Oh, man. Yeah. So, as you know, as the whole world knows at this point, Trump has coronavirus. Of course, this is the day that this news has come out for us. They say he has mild symptoms, so he's not asymptomatic. And I told Lauren, like, if anything, I hope that he has the runs. I hope that he's sitting there for a good week or two, just on the toilet, saying, Melania, can you get me another toilet paper? Or I don't know how to do his voice, but he would tell her, or they would have like the butler go and like roll the toilet paper since the butler doesn't want to eat clothes.
She would look at him with such stink face.
Like, go ahead,
she ain't doing anything.
Shit on yourself, boo.
Watch, he's probably gonna be the one that's sick, and she's asymptomatic, and she'd just be like enjoying it.
God works in mysterious ways.
Mysterious ways.
Goddamn.
No, like, okay. So I'm one of those people. I don't wish people dead like him, just because, yeah, he's done a lot of wrong, but it's not my place. So I don't wish that. I also don't wish it because I don't want Pence for potentially 8 years, because that's fun. We like start at the new like docket if that happens, with him potentially being 8 years. So let's not do that. It's one of those where I see people's different views on it. Like, some people are saying, I've seen what this does personally, and that, I definitely hate him like the next person, but I don't think he deserves it. I think saying deserve is strong, and that like no one deserves to go through that. I look at it this way. Maybe he doesn't deserve a terrible illness, but he deserves a wake-up call. Yeah. But the only problem is, I know that with narcissists that'll never happen. No matter how sick you get, no matter who you lose, what you lose in life, nothing will actually wake up a narcissist. So that's where I'm torn, because it's like, that's what he really deserves, is a wake-up call, but it's not going to happen. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. So I don't know. It's a catch-22. If he recovers, then his fans will say, oh, see, they'll either say it was a hoax, or that it's not that bad. You really don't need the mask. Like, look at that. You can get through it. Whatever. It's like a little sniffle. Or if he passes, then we have to deal with the potential of Pence. So, which I don't trust. He's way too quiet. You can't trust the quiet ones. So those are my thoughts. So it's kind of like we're damned if we do, damned if we don't with this situation. But the thing is, it was kind of a matter of time. Like, it's not a shock that he got it. I mean, think about it. All the rallies, all the stuff he did.
I thought he would not wearing a mask.
Right. That's what everyone's saying. The only thing I'll say, because you know me and like conspiracies, it's weird timing. Mm-hmm. There's something about it that makes you go, I don't know. Like, and first of all, it's right after you were on stage with Biden, so now everybody's worried about him.
No, we're not. He tested negative. His wife.
That already happened?
Yep, already came out.
Dang. Okay. Well, there was that. And then it's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird because after that fail of a debate, I don't know. Well, because now you got to quarantine for 2 weeks. So,
and that's the part where people are wondering if it's fake, because
right,
then are they gonna just proceed as normal, and election happens on November 3rd, and everyone puts their votes in, all that stuff, or they push it back, and let's say December 3rd, they're like, we're gonna have election day, which gives enough time for Trump to recover, and then debates spread out through.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could happen, because it's all about him controlling this. Clearly, he's not going to be okay if he doesn't win. He's made that known that he's going to have an issue and probably try and rig something. I don't know. So
it's happening right now. Did you hear the news about Texas?
What?
The governor's sitting there saying there's going to be one ballot box for every city or town, whatever. So, like, imagine just one place where you have to go to drop off your ballot, your mail-in ballot, in just this town, and then another place in the next town over.
Texas is huge.
Like,
aren't their towns huge?
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Texas, but the point is, they're already rigging it for Trump to be more likely to get his vote in, because now these people that are far away have to go to one little place in their town to go put in their ballot. Texas is a Trump state,
though, to begin with, so I don't get why that's your example. My
example? I'm telling you what's happening in the news.
Okay.
Huh? That's an example of rigging it. It's not even an example. That's what's happening now.
But how is it rigging it if it's already a Trump state?
It does not matter. At the end of the day, there are more people that dislike Trump than like Trump. Do you understand that? Like this, I at least feel like there's at least 60-40. Like it just...
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of people who regret voting for him and have changed their mind.
There's a lot more people that don't like Trump. So obviously, if Trump's sitting here on the debate stage telling you, we may not know for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, trying to discourage people from voting, they know something. Mail-in voting is giving people a lot more access to putting in their votes. Like it's a lot more easier. Yeah. Where Joe Biden's like, yo, go out and vote. Like, it's gonna get handled. Like Trump's been on his freaking run for the last couple months, saying this is what's going to happen. Trying to get in the Supreme Court that's going to sway in their favor, to further push him to winning. Like, there's just more and more. Florida, the governor there, a year or two ago, the convicts were able to vote, but then they went and they switched it. If you didn't pay your fees or whatever, or what your fines or something like that, then you're not able to vote if you have a felony on your record. So it's like,
I think
a whole lot of things.
That's a whole other thing. I think it's ridiculous that if you get out of jail, you can't vote. Sure, I understand when you're in jail, you shouldn't, but because you're paying time and whatever. But once you're out, like I think it's trash.
Won't change for a long time.
I think that's trash though, because just like people say, oh, voting's a privilege, not a right. I don't get that. It should, again, I know, we've had issues in the past and it's very privileged because of, who got to vote first and then next and all that. But I feel like it should be a right.
It's not going to happen.
As an American citizen, like, it doesn't make sense. Isn't that part of the whole freedom and like all that? So I don't know. I think that's a trash system.
It's not going to happen because it's going to benefit more of the Democrats than the Republicans. So it's less likely to happen.
Didn't we see a video recently that said there were countries that like you were automatically registered to vote, like just because you live?
Yep.
Kind of like your social security number. I'm like, that's genius.
Yep.
That's exactly how it should be.
It's not going to happen here.
Like,
if you guys are interested, there's a video on Vox that breaks down voting.
Like, why do you have to register to vote? Like, think about that. They have everything else on me. They have the birth certificate, marriage certificate, social security number. They know I'm an entity. They are well aware I'm a citizen. Why is this not a thing? Like, why? Why do you have to register?
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
I know, but it's just corrupt.
Same reason as to why you don't have the day off to go out and vote.
True, that on a Tuesday instead of like a Saturday like other countries. Like, it's
pretty obvious.
It should be a national holiday, but yeah, of course, it's not going to be. I don't know. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, at the end of all this, the only reason, like, I get it. Joe Biden and Trump, they're not anyone's pick. Oh, well, unless you're a Trump person. But if you're voting for Joe Biden, you're probably like, it's nothing exciting. You're just doing it because you're tired of this. I'm tired of waking up and you guys know I've been doing investing for like the past year now, and like in the investment world, the way everyone views it, whenever Trump has his little conversations at the White House where he goes out and talks to give some type of update, the market's always like flat or it's going downwards, where it's like we don't know what he's gonna say. Let's pull our money out. Like it's a gamble. Like you don't have that issue with Obama's presidency. Like it was just quiet. Like it was just there's none of these issues. And that's what I want to get back to, and I'm sure a lot of people want to get back to, is not having to worry about what the president is saying and doing and tweeting. And I just want it to be silent. Like, dog, do your job, do whatever. Like,
and when you have to speak at press conferences, you can speak well.
And you're not putting people down and name calling. Like, I don't understand you people. Like, those people that like Trump for that, it's ridiculous. I don't find it funny.
That's not cool. Like, if you like Trump for that, what? Do you just wish you could, like, call your coworkers names and say shit to your boss? Like, in their face? Like, is that... Like, come on. You're not doing that stuff at work either. You know better. You know you'd lose your job. So if that's the case, clearly this is wrong. Anywho's it's been a half hour of that.
All right.
Let's move on.
So we've been giving you guys updates on this Dr. Dre divorce situation, and it turns out that Dr. Dre has won his legal battle against his wife, and he won't have to pay $1.5 million to his ex-wife.
Oh, I thought it was $2 million.
This article will go through that, I believe. I'm looking at Complex. So, a judge has rejected Dr. Dre's estranged wife Nicole Young's request for $1.5 million to pay for various expenses, such as security. What the heck? The judge also dismissed her request to expedite Dre paying out $5 million for her lawyer fees. Young's lawyers were in court on Thursday, urging the judge to accept $1.5 million claim for security since she's getting death threats.
She's getting death threats because of the enormous amount she asked for. Like, put it together. Oh my gosh.
Part of the reason why the judge rejected her request is because she let her security team go, which Dre was already paying for. She alleged that Dre has been controlling and wanted to bring on her own security, saying Dre warned her that he would fire the security if they didn't do what he said. Dre's lawyer told the judge that the hip-hop mogul is inclined to pay Young's expenses, including security, which the judge accepted. Young's lawyers are also urged the judge to advance the hearing regarding the $5 million, their attorney fees, wanting it to be moved from January to this month. However, the judge said no.
No.
So my thought is, she wanted this $1.5 million to go to her pocket, and that's why she's trying to call out this like whole thing here, with like it's making an excuse where, oh, you know, it's his security team. Like, I don't want them following me because he's too controlling and this and that. Like it's all money at the end of the day.
Yep.
So it seems like, I don't think anything has come from that $2 million that she requested that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Well, yeah, clearly. I feel like, yeah.
Nothing's happened with that one.
All around, it sounds like she lost.
Dr. Dre responded to that $2 million claim, saying this all seems like the wrath of an angry person being exacerbated by opportunistic lawyers. Exacerbated by opportunistic lawyers. And he also revealed that he already paid the $5 million in lawyer fees for Young for their divorce. So,
sheesh.
It's a spicy battle. I'm gonna say that one, and I don't think she's owed anything, but that's just my take.
I just think it's really extra what she's asking for.
Yeah.
Again, there's average people who go through divorces and don't even get what they should, like with kids and like all this stuff. Like there's people that really get screwed, you know, and just trying to survive or something like that. I mean, we're talking millions and millions. Like, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here. I can't.
Now, you wanted to talk about this whole thing going on with Demi Lovato.
Speaking of splits, so I have updates. So last week, I referenced how Demi Lovato and her ex-fiance Max, I forget his last name, Rich, I don't know how you say it, EHRICH. Rich?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but her and the ex-fiance, we talked a little bit about last week, and you know, I just felt bad for Demi because, you know, it's been a rough road, but didn't have too much information. It was just kind of like quiet, like they stopped posting stuff, and then there was an article that said they split. So that's all I knew. Since then, stuff's been coming out from like both sides, and I just find it interesting. The first thing I knew is that she had called it off because she felt the pressure of impending marriage, and she, like, it was too much to handle kind of thing. But now it seems he's just like a manipulator, and we don't like that. So So she said it was very hurtful to Demi when she realized that Max's intentions weren't genuine, adding that breaking off the engagement was not an easy decision. Another insider explained that one of the stumbling blocks for the couple was going back to their regular lives after spending the entirety of the pandemic together, because they got together, I think, in March. So Demi and Max were basically together 24/7 for months. They lived in a bubble with zero stress, and everything was just fun. And then Max shot up in fame, and it's been hard. He got wrapped up in Hollywood. This feeling was further confirmed for Lovato after fans resurfaced an old social media comment he left for... Oh, is this the same? I don't know if it's the same ad. He left for Selena Gomez that said, "Marry me now," and another one to Ariana Grande calling her my wife. Lovato responded at the time by calling the comments fake. However, a source soon after... said he was just trying to further his career by using her name behind her back, which I saw because I went digging. There was this Twitter thread that had a lot. It was a lot. And yeah, this guy for years was obsessed with all these celebrities like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, and just trying to be "Oh, will you be my wife? I want to marry you. Marry me now." All this, just creepy, comments on all of their stuff. Mm-hmm. Just trying to, get a leg up. And what's interesting is Demi fell for it. And then here we are. So, then another article, is his response. So apparently he's a star in The Young and the Restless. I think that's a soap opera. He does have some sort of stardom. He's not a complete nobody, but at the same time he's obviously not the level that Demi is, so I still personally look at it as he was using her. But now he wants to spin it, of course. He said it's just the craziest thing. This is the most bizarre experience that I hope no one ever has to experience ever, because no person deserves to feel this way. Then he dragged two of Ariana Grande's exes, Pete Davidson and Mac Miller, into his drama. Said Pete Davidson didn't deserve to feel this way. You think he wrote that text to Mac Miller? Open your eyes, calculated PR stunt, but my team is going to hate me for saying any of this. And then speaking directly to Lovato, he continued, "I hope this makes you happy. Enjoy. You just lost someone who loved you fully, completely, infinitely, for everything." Then he took aim at, she just released a song, Still Have Me, which I love it. And I say, go girl. She literally released it on Instagram before her team even had the time to put it on streaming platforms. I was like, okay, go you. But now it's on streaming platforms, so stream it, guys. But yeah, he said, "I thought I found the real deal. Now I found out that I was used," he claimed. "But I hope the song is number one, because you know what? If that's what someone wants in the material world, here you go. You can have it." So, I don't know. Personally, I believe more of her. I know we never really know with relationships. But based on the stuff he's kind of done in the past to try and get a leg up, he just seemed like he was just trying to land anybody remotely successful, attractive, easy to kind of be with, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I would believe he's a manipulator and kind of screwed this up, and she just opened her eyes.
Yeah, sounds like he's just one of those random guys that comment on Instagram at every cute girl he sees, and he's like, "Yo, I love you. You look great. This and that." And I'm not sure how him and Demi Lovato met, but yeah, he's like, "Man, I got in. I'm gonna be rich."
Well, yeah, and so therefore, it also does not surprise me that he proposed so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
It was lock this down.
It was after 3 or 4 months.
I gotta lock this bad boy down.
And so, right, exactly. Because it's oh, and I mean, honestly, she'd probably be smart enough to get a prenup, but still, it was one of those where, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? If that's what you're seeking this person for, is for fame and money and whatever, mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you pull out all the stops? So I find that so discouraging, because it just goes to show this is why so many women have such a hard time in the dating world.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Well, because, again, it was that image, right? That image of, everybody wanted their relationship because they seemed so stinking adorable. But, like, look it. It's so frustrating.
It's tough. When you're a successful person, no matter if you're, like, a guy or girl, like, it's tough finding someone because that person really has to be of equal, like, level.
Right.
Yeah, because this is like the issue here where it's like this guy was a nobody. Yeah, he was on a show, but like, what? I feel like I knew Young and Restless back in the days, but I don't. Who watches that? I never heard anyone say I watch this.
Yeah, I feel like the cult following of like soap operas are the older generation.
Yeah, but yeah, it's tough. And I'm not surprised when you see like. I feel like you see it a lot more with women. Because men, I feel like are more just risk takers, but a lot more successful women like don't like marry or like they don't plan on getting in relationships and they just stay old like until they find someone that's of equal level.
Well, I feel like it's because we feel like we have more to lose. Like we've worked so freaking hard to be like independent, successful, like seen as that. Mm-hmm. Taken seriously. True. And so I feel like, it's like, come on, you're not trying to have some screwed up guy just come in and ruin it all. Like, I hate that. I just hate, again, how it just goes to show you never know, like when people are posting everything, you never know if it's all la-di-da. And it's like, I hope, but it just all kind of exploded out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So that's the update there. But she deleted, I went on her Instagram. She deleted all posts with him. There was a caption she had with the Marshmello song, the Okay to Not Be Okay, where like he was like in a video like proposing to her and she shows this like big fake ring and like the caption used to be like, oh, sorry, Marshmello, but Max got to me first or whatever. Now the caption's just like, like so much love for you or something like that. I'm just like, wow, I don't blame you, girl. Go through, just, erase it like it never happened. So yeah. So that's the update there. Maybe it'll still develop. Who knows?
Yeah.
So.
The next thing, which is like some surprising news, and I didn't know what was happening, which was Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. I didn't realize Chrissy was pregnant.
Yeah, with their third kid.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a third kid. I didn't know they had other kids.
They have a boy and a girl.
Would I never know that? Because you always just imagine them just being like single and living life. I never realized that. You
never saw them ever have kids? You've never seen their kids?
I don't follow them on Instagram.
Their kids, oh my God. So, like mini John. Like that, the genes there.
As you're finding that, I'm gonna, So, unfortunately, Chris Teigen had a miscarriage. And
that's their kids.
Yeah, I can see the son, and I feel like the daughter looks more like Chrissy.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, my God, it's a mini John. All right, continue.
So their kid, his name's Jack. I don't really like talking about this because it's just a sucky situation.
But that's the problem. That's the problem here. So, ironically enough, and I don't want to butcher this, I believe it's called October is Infant and Child Loss Month or something like that. Infant and baby. I'm going to look it up because I don't want to.
What? You telling me babies that are born in October are more likely to die?
No. It's like everything else we have a month for. Like last month was PCOS month. Like it's bringing awareness.
Isn't it Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Yes, it's also. Exactly.
I was going to say, like, damn, I'm a blessing. Mom needs to know that.
No.
Shoot.
Babe. Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month.
I've never heard that.
Oh, look at first declared by President Ronald Reagan on October 15th, 1988. Oh, look at 5 years before you were born, exactly.
Like a boy will be born on this day 5 years from now.
But, okay, so that's what it's called. And it's ironically enough, she just went through this a couple days ago, and then we're in this month about it. But You saying you're uncomfortable and don't even want to talk about it is exactly why it has to be talked about. So, babe, as a woman,
I'm just saying it just sucks. It sucks that you're. I mean, it hasn't happened. I haven't been in a situation, obviously.
Right.
But to imagine, you know, I'm happy that it's okay. I'm trying to like not butcher this. I'm going to say.
Don't say something stupid.
I'm going to say. And putting my shoes in this situation, put myself in this situation. If let's say we were having a kid and everything, and like things were like we were looking forward to it, we had like the room set up, like all this stuff, and like you have that like build up for like that whole 9 months and doctor visits and everything's going well and everything.
Less. I don't think she was 9 months.
You get what I mean? You just have that build up and just like that.
Well, yeah.
Like those feelings of joy and I can't wait to meet this person and all this stuff.
Plus, not to mention the woman carrying it. You have that like physical soul like bond.
Yes. And then it gets taken away from you. And I'm not saying like not to talk about it, but it's a tough situation and I don't feel I'm equipped to talk about it.
You're not.
Exactly. So I don't have much to really add here.
Here's the thing.
It sucks.
Here's the thing. I guess in that sense, I'm not equipped, like he said, to talk about it because obviously I've never been through it myself. However, I do think it's something as a woman important to talk about because then it makes the stigma less. 1 in 4 people lose an infant or a pregnancy. 1 in 4. It's a very common thing to happen, and that includes miscarriages, stillborn, or newborn loss. It's one of those things where, I mean, one of my worst fears is having a miscarriage. That's like, it's just built into me. However, it's one of those things that you realize, like, I never realized how many people I know that have had miscarriages until people started talking about it more. And that's not to say that it's any less tragic or traumatic, but I think there could be comfort in knowing you probably have people you can talk to and console in close to you that have been through it, and that whether it's helping you physically recover or mentally, emotionally, whatever, and just have support. And I think that's what's important here is it's wrapping people who are fragile in support and love, because obviously this is something you're never going to completely heal from. You're never going to completely forget. You're never going to forget. It's one of those things that everybody always says, like, you just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
It's like any other kind of death. You never completely are whole again of like feeling like that didn't happen. It's just there. I have friends who they still celebrate the little birthdays of the little ones that passed. Obviously there's people who have like whole funerals. Like it's a whole thing. And yeah, so I think it's really important to talk about it, make it okay to talk about it. And I have a friend who's a doula. She made an interesting point that it's hard, obviously, but almost she doesn't agree with the fact that people feel like they need to wait until the 3-month mark, the 12 weeks, to say they're pregnant publicly, because it's the stigma again of in the first 12 weeks is when you're more likely to miscarry in your pregnancy if you're going to. And therefore, if you don't announce you're pregnant to the public and maybe only like a few family members or whatever, then you don't have to deal with the whole, well, I was. Here's the thing with that. I go back and forth because I don't know how I would react, how I'll feel, if I'll want to wait 12 weeks, if I won't. But part of me is like, yeah, it is kind of a bummer, because then you think, like you say, hey, I was though pregnant. I was. And now nobody knows this part of me. Like I have to hide this part of me and bury it down as if it's something to be ashamed of. And that's where it gets worse. And the stigma is just there. And it's like, well, no, if you were happy and you told the people at 6 weeks that you were pregnant and then at 8 weeks it happened, also it opens the door to more people being there for you and showing their true colors if that's going to happen. But just, I think it could be more powerful if people knew you were pregnant and lost, because it's life. It's normal life. Yeah. And this shows it doesn't discriminate. These are rich celebrities, and it still happens. You can have the best healthcare, the best everything, and it doesn't always save you. I know that she was in the hospital for a few days. I know she was losing a lot of blood, and so she was having blood transfusions and stuff like that was happening. So I'm not exactly sure the cause, but something happened there. I also don't know exactly how far along she was. Obviously, any of it's traumatic. If you lose a baby at 6 weeks, at 36 weeks, or newborns, whenever, it's still going to be awful, and it's valid. But yeah, so that's my thoughts there. In addition, people seem to be having a real issue that she posted some black and white pictures. To this, I respond. First of all, everybody grieves differently. And so however you're going to do that is valid, and if it helps you, awesome. I will say, I've heard and seen, even like in TV shows and real life and all this, when you lose a baby, you give birth to a little baby who is no longer alive, they do actually suggest you take a few pictures, whether it's like with all of you, the 3 of you or whatever, to commemorate, because obviously those are all you will have. So as devastating as it is, and as awful you will look in the pictures, because you'll be sobbing and everything, they say to do that, because then at least you have that as an opportunity. You know, maybe you won't want to look at them for 6 months or a year, but they're there. In addition, again, I think her posting the pictures, it's real. Sure, people look at it as, oh, you're a celebrity, why are you Instagramming and all this stuff. Again, I think it kind of breaks down the stigma. It makes it more real. It probably helped some mothers that have gone through this. And you know, we're like, I relate to that. That was me. And, you know, now more people are going to understand that this really does happen. So, and it's not like she was posting anything wrong. Like, I don't know. Your thoughts?
I'm not equipped for this conversation.
No, but like, on that part.
I think it's stupid that people feel entitled. I was even surprised that, like, because I assume, like, you know, maybe like a few hours after this happened, they had to like announce that they lost the baby. Like, I'm like, damn, at least give you guys some, like, you know, a bit of like reprieve and break, and then do it. But like,
right?
You're not even. I learned this growing up, and I say this to you all the time, but we're in a world where people just feel like they're entitled to so much.
Yeah. And instant gratification.
And I learned growing up and taught myself that I'm like, also my mom taught me that, like, you're not entitled to anything. If someone gives you something, you know, be happy for it, all that stuff. But like, people to sit there for the simplest things to be like, you know, why is the photo black and white? Like, show us something like, dog, I'm surprised they're sharing. Like, you should be happy that they're even sharing this, you know, emotional part of their life to the whole world. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much entitlement, like, in the world, and it's so annoying. Especially when these situations happen, that people just feel like they need to be a part of that business, and it doesn't make sense.
And so, she tweeted afterwards, she said, driving home from the hospital with no baby, how can this be real? And that was it. That's the last we've heard from her, obviously. But oof.
Need a break? I would take a vacation somewhere with the kids and just like...
I have a friend of mine who lost their newborn after giving birth a couple days later. And like, she took a picture of that, and she's like, I know this feeling all too well. Like, I can't imagine that happening, and I'm very like emotional right now. I'm like, I feel shaken up inside. So yeah, and I also, more props to them, because to be quite honest, it's hard for anybody, but I feel like it would be even harder if you already have kids. Because now you have to talk to your kids. And now you have to explain what happened. And they're going to be upset too. And it's that taking on the parenting role when all you want to do is sob and be, in bed 24/7. And given, sure, they're celebrities, so they might have help. But still, like, for average people. Mm-hmm. Oof. So, I'm very sorry for the loss. That's too much. Yeah. But, it is common. As upsetting as it is, it's common. If you've been through it, you're definitely not alone. And also, if you miscarried, nothing's your fault. I know everybody says that. I know that it's probably annoying to hear, but it was, not your fault. So, also, people, if you're trying to help people grieve and people through the process, there are some sayings you should never say to people, such as never say, well, you could always have more. And, at least you have these kids. If they already have kids. And no, literally, people are dumb. They think that's helpful. And just all that. So, like, just shut your mouth if you're not going to be smart about it. There are some sayings you shouldn't say to people grieving the loss of a child. All right.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this bad boy up with some relationship advice topic. Now, I wasn't really thinking after putting this after the John Legend and Chrissy Teigen thing, so my bad.
What did you do?
It's not that crazy, but
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is not inappropriate.
Not really, but it depends.
Okay.
So this one is about a boyfriend that keeps lying, telling people that him and his girlfriend have a baby. The boyfriend is 23. Oh, sorry. The boyfriend is 24 and his girlfriend is 23. So she says, so this kind of started off as a joke, but my boyfriend is starting to take it too far and I'm getting anxious. We both want kids, but have talked about how we definitely want to wait until we are both older and more financially stable. One day, he started making offhand comments about our future baby, Violet. For example, his sister had a baby last year, and he'd say stuff like, the outfit would look cute on Violet. I went along with it because it felt harmless at the time. We're both working from home due to the pandemic and share a room for our office. I've heard him make comments to his coworkers about how Violet kept him up all night and stuff like that. When I asked him about it, he said they know he's joking and that it's becoming his go-to joke for when he's hungover or up all night gaming. I thought it was weird, but decided to believe him since it was only a handful of times. Boy. She goes on to say, however, the other day, I found a pacifier in our closet under some dirty clothes. My first thought was it was there somehow from his niece, but I messed up. But she's never been over here. I asked my boyfriend about it, and he said it must be a leftover from the last tenant. And she's like, question mark? Anyways, I don't know if I'm overreacting or what, but this is starting to make me uncomfortable. I really don't want kids right now, and it feels like he's basically made up a child to everyone. How do I approach him about this that doesn't make either of us look like a weirdo? Even though I think he's kind of being the one right now.
So, I was right. It was inappropriate after we just talked about that.
Yeah, well, it's not the greatest timing.
Bruh.
You know what?
Bruh.
Don't judge me.
Bruh. Because here's the thing. You shouldn't fake having a kid or having a pregnancy. So this is something like in the past few years, especially people have like made known on April Fool's Day, don't do the whole like fake pregnancy test thing. Just because once again, now not only the losses, but how hard some people try to get pregnant and can't. It's not appropriate. It's just not. So, faking a whole ass baby is weird. That's weird. I don't agree with that. I don't know what to tell you. Just tell him to stop. I don't know. I wouldn't have gone along with it this long. So, it's not funny. Like, okay, you made a joke one time, maybe like, oh, kept him up all night to say that you were hungover. Okay, but then like this became the thing. I don't know. And in front of people, that's the thing. Like, it's not even between the two of you. Because I feel like couples, yeah, they have their own weird jokes. But, like, if you're legitimately using this as an excuse.
See, here's the thing. I can understand it as a joke to your colleagues. To an extent, of course.
All the time? Like...
To an extent. Because I can say, like... You know, I can say, Missy, the dog. I can say, yo, man, Missy kept me up all night. Like, I'm so tired, so drained. And, like,
okay, but at least we have the dog.
I mean, people can make a joke that they have, like, a fake daughter. I don't know. It's weird. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. It's weird.
Yeah, to keep it ongoing, you're doing one of two things. You're, one, trying to subliminally force tell, or however you want to call it, your girlfriend that you want to have a baby, and she's not for that. She clearly says she wants to be financially stable, and when you're older, completely understand.
Feel that.
Yeah. The coworker thing is weird when I think about it. Like, maybe close friends.
Well, what I'm saying, I feel like between you two it makes sense, but then outside of that, it's weird. Like everybody has their own couple like insiders and stuff.
Like, we'll go, like, me and you, we'll go back. I'm not sure if we would say, like, close, because I don't know, that seems extreme to me. But, like, we'll go back and say, like, I want, how it's going to feel like when we have kids or something like that. Or, like, I don't know. We'll name different things that, like, will this be a cool experience? Like, what are your thoughts on it? So, like, between us, sure, I can understand it.
But that's also, we're like, talking about the future. Like, we're not it's different. We're envisioning and we're like trying to like,
I'm trying to shoot this guy,
say, oh, how would you do this, or etc.
Well, buddy, you're on your own. I don't know what to tell you. Don't worry, though. I wouldn't say this is a breakup reason at all, it's
just weird though.
Yeah, it's something you have to sit down with your boyfriend and say, like, you're making me uncomfortable. Can you stop, like, saying this?
And it reminds me of, like, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, because it's, like, then, like, you're going to keep saying it, and so then when you have a kid, people won't believe you.
And the next part that worries me is, like, is this a joke, or, again, is this just a way of him, like, getting it into her head, and then, one day they're, doing the thing, and... depending on if they're using condoms or not, and depending on if she's on birth control or not, and then, and then
guys, drinking game.
And then a little
rewind 20 seconds, and every time he says, take a shot.
And then a little splooshy sploosh. And
oh my gosh, stop it. Every episode, why lately? You're ending every episode and it has to be like sexual and weird.
I don't know.
Sir.
But
how do we get there? We talk about politics and celebrity stuff and sad stuff, and then he just goes there.
I'm just saying, like, 'cause that's where my mind would go with this, like, where this person's kind of like subliminally like pushing me that way because of how they are. So, like, that's just my thought reading this, and I think it's kind of past the joke. It kind of like the joke is getting played out. And yeah, I'll tell him to chill on it because I'm not for it. And if he doesn't, I'll cut you. You gotta add some threats to let him know it's real.
Okay.
Okay. You agree?
No.
Okay. Oh God, I'm wrapping this one up.
Her eyes opened when you said oh, now they're back closed.
Hold up.
She's been passed out, and then you said wrapping it up. She's like, hold up.
Did you say the magic words?
Oh, look at her head. Look at her head.
Look at he's like, hold up. He's getting ready to end this podcast.
I'm awake. I'm ready to be snuggled and played.
Make my interests, make myself known that I'm here, guys.
She's thinking about it.
All right, guys, but we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Yeah. I didn't really shout out the Etsy shop. I'm gonna take a chill pill on it. But if you do want to check out Etsy shop, it's Good Feelings Apparel.
A new Halloween shirt, which is adorable. You need to go check out.
Yeah, it's based on Pop Smoke.
So you need to go check it out. So Good Feeling Apparel on Etsy.
Tell you what it is. It's so if you guys are familiar with Pop Smoke Mood Swings, the song that's killing it on Twitter, where it's like Shorty's Little Baddie, Shorty My Little Boo Thing. So we did a Halloween version of that, and yeah, it's really dope. I like it a lot. And if I was a girl, I'd probably wear it, but it seems kind of more of like a girly type of shirt.
Whatever.
But
check it out.
Shirts that I do love. I do love the pro black, pro LGBT, like pro sex worker, pro, like I love that shirt. Guys, check that out. That is a work of art.
Check it out.
Another shirt I want to work on, which I'm not sure if it will be up by this time, but I want to make a shirt. I've been seeing this a lot. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I've been seeing that a lot, and I really want to make my own like shirt design off this. So that's another one in the process. Just a behind the scenes idea there for you. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. I'm ready to go on and live my life. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, guys. With that being said, once again, I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace out.